Finalist, Mosites construction company for St. Louise de Marillac Sanctuary renovation.
The original church was built in the late 70s. And during the 1970s, there was sort of in the Catholic Church maybe a lack of a focal point theologically that was rendered architecturally in the church. The church was very beautiful, a lot of beautiful articles used to make the original church, and a lot of people had a good spiritual home here. But this layout was rather chaotic, no focal point, difficult to celebrate different liturgies, different services in the church. So the purpose of the renovation was to kind of reorient the church and make the sight lines and the whole church a little more focused. This was a unique architectural space to begin with. And so one of the goals of the project was to retain the feel of the place, respecting what had come before. And so that took a lot of, it was a delicate project. The one major change is a total reorientation of how the seating is, where the main aisle is. The whole sanctuary is reoriented. The whole place turned on its axis. And that's the major piece. The doors, if you would have seen them before, were totally aged, totally warped. You couldn't even get them to close. To lock them was a real effort. But they came up with a way or a process to save the doors, which are beautiful. The floor was sort of a dull and dark concrete floor, almost like a garage floor. And you know, working with Mark and his team were able to come up with this process whereby the floor would be brightened and polished and almost has a, you know, a lot of people when they came in the church for the first time said, "We can't believe you put a marble floor in this church." And it was the same floor they've been walking on for 30 years. The choir used to be placed up front, right next to the sanctuary, sort of in the sanctuary, which was sort of a distraction because as the choir expanded, they kind of expanded into the sanctuary, and it was just a tight space and not a real appropriate space for what they were doing. So the choir was relocated from in front of the church in the sanctuary to the back left side of the church. As you can see by the stonework throughout the church, the way the pews are laid out and installed, I mean, the sense of craftsmanship was wonderful, and it was smooth. I was just at the chiropractor, and who's a parishioner here, and I said, "Isn't it amazing that this got done in 12 weeks, this entire project?" And it was because of great planning, great people on the project who knew what they were doing. Really, with a couple of exceptions, everything was flawless because of the workmanship, the professionalism, the planning, and they knew what they were doing.